Secure Channel 7?
7 secure. Did you do anything fun Saturday night?
Well, all the guys from my barbershop quartet are dead, so no, not really.
Coming up on the drop zone, Cap.
You know, if you asked Kristen out from statistics, she'd probably say yes.
That's why I don't ask.
Too shy or too scared?
Too busy!
Is he wearing a parachute?
No. No, he wasn't.
And that's a clip from Captain America, The Winter Soldier. I'm delighted to say we've been joined by its star, who is Chris Evans. Chris, hello, how are you, sir?
Very well, how are you?
Good, thank you. Did you have a sparkly premiere?
Yeah, we did.
Do you enjoy those things? Do you walk in and then walk straight out again, or do you sit and watch the movie?
Oh, no, you don't sit through the movie. I mean, I've already seen it a few times, so it's,
is it good?
A little bit trying to see it too many times. Yeah, did you say, is it good?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Absolutely, and you must be thrilled with the reviews that it's getting. Certainly, the reviews in the UK are fantastic. Can you get us up to speed, please? Because the first Captain America was largely a period piece. Now, just get us up to speed as to where we find Captain America now.
Sure. Well, it's not so much about his acclimation to the modern world in terms of technology. He's no longer amazed by the internet and cell phones. It's more about the acclimating to society and understanding who exactly he works for. SHIELD operates in a way that kind of bumps with Steve Rogers' values.
So I guess it was always going to be a challenge to make sense of Captain America in a modern world. As much as you can say without giving any of the key bits away, how have you managed to do that? How would you describe the tone of the movie? Because some people say it's like a 70s political thriller, really.
Well, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
I really can't take any credit. This is all the Marvel Universe doing what they do best, hiring fantastic writers and finding the right directors to help it come to life, and it's really all kind of the mastermind Kevin Feige at work.
So I think the key bit in the film for me was when you are and again, I think this is all perfectly fine to talk about because it's quite early in the movie. You're being shown an awful lot of brand new sparkly kit, which is quite terrifying, and it's all about mass surveillance and it's about drones, and Captain America is extremely uncomfortable, and you say, your line is, "This isn't freedom, this is fear." And I wonder if, I mean, that felt like the heart of the film to me. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, to some degree. I think the real heart of the film is Sam's line. I think right after that line, where SHIELD takes the world as it is, not as we'd like it to be. For Steve Rogers, it does appear to be fear, but for someone like Nick Fury, he's lived a different life and he's seen different things. A lot of Steve Rogers' opinion on the issue is that he hasn't been exposed to a certain style of behavior out of the enemy. And unfortunately, with technological advancements, there may have to be an increase upon the infringement of our civil liberties in order to sustain the freedom that we guarantee. And it's a gray area, and it's a tricky thing for Steve to understand how far you're willing to push the line of taking advantage of people's privacy to provide them safety.
All of which makes it incredibly contemporary and makes it a radical different movie.
That's right.
How does your character then cope with the murky agenda? Because you're still a man of moral clarity, but you're faced with a world of with kind of murky agendas, aren't you?
That's right.
And do you compromise your moral clarity, sir?
Well, no, I don't think he does. That's kind of the essence of who Steve is. He's unwavering in that sense, and he chooses not to bleed on people as well. So with this conflict and this struggle, he tries to keep it as internal as possible.
You mentioned the Marvel machine and the directors that they pick. Tell us about Anthony and Joe Russo and what it was like working with them and what they brought to the picture.
They're so fantastic. I really love those guys. This is what Marvel does. They find people that you wouldn't expect, and then they end up doing the most amazing job. Then they surpass any expectation and probably could do it better than some directors that you might consider more A-list. This is what Kevin Feige does. Something about those guys just know what they're doing. They're big comic book fans, which certainly helps. But they're very easy to talk to. They believe in collaboration, and And I think it helps having two of them. I was a little worried about having two directors. You never know how that's going to work, but they share a brain, so it really never felt like a conflict of opinions.
But how does that work when you have two people? I mean, do they both stand together? Do they say this? Do they do it one day on, one day off, or how does that work?
They do. They stand side by side. That was the concern. Is this going to be one person in one ear and another person in the other? But they never leave each other's side, so you rarely have conflicting points of view.
Was this a more collaborative movie as far as you were concerned? Was there an element to which you could contribute your ideas, having got used to your body and your role in the first movie? Could you adapt and contribute more?
Yeah, certainly more so than the first couple films, and that was one of the best part about the Russos. They understood and respected that this isn't my first time playing this character, and they wanted my opinion on things, which was nice. That's what made it feel like a group effort. Did you get hurt in this film? Oh, of course, you get hurt in every movie.
It looks as though you do, big time. But I'm just wondering whether you get hurt more in this one. What did you have to go through on this?
Well, anytime you do a fight sequence, even though it's fake fights, those punches are still landing, even if you're blocking them. And they're brutal days of work, and you're going to go home with bumps and bruises.
Do you have a different fighting style in this film?
Well, it's a bit more brutal. In the first couple of movies, he's very meat and potatoes. It's very punch, kick, and we tried to show that he's been training. He's been on a few ops now, and so this is we wanted to kind of increase his skill level and his abilities. And yeah, you certainly turned up his power. That's right.
Working with Robert Redford, we were mentioning about the 70s political thrillers. Robert Redford, forever associated with some of those movies. He's in this movie. He has a very key role. Was that quite nerve-wracking to work with a man of that stature? He came on the show. We did a live audience session with him. He came over for Sundance London, and we spent a lot of time with him. And he's fantastically impressive. For us, what was it like to work alongside him?
Well, it's a bit intimidating. He's a living legend, not just as an actor, but as a director as well. He very easily could have come on that set and hijacked the movie.
Yes, absolutely.
But he never did. He's the epitome of what it is to be a professional. He was polite, he was prepared, he was patient. I think the first day we worked, I think we filmed till maybe 1 a.m, and he stuck around and did off-camera dialogue for me, and he's very caring, and he's a great guy to work with.
Got some listeners' questions for you, Chris, just as many as we can squeeze in the time that we have. Taff Hughes asks, The Losers is underrated. Agree or disagree?
I'll agree. I enjoyed that film.
And also on the same vein, Ian Fairholm, I for one would have liked a sequel to The Losers. Was it a fun film to make, and would he have wanted to do a sequel?
It was a wildly fun film to make. Some of those people on that movie are still my closest friends to this day. And it was. I'm not quite sure how a sequel would work, but the making the movie was certainly worth it.
David Sargent asks, with regards to your upcoming directorial debut, 1:30 Train, could you explain a little bit about the movie and what attracted you to this particular project?
Sure. It's a romance. It takes place in New York City. It's two people who meet in Grand Central Station. They spend the night together walking around the city, and it was an appealing script to me because it kind of read like a play. It's very dialogue heavy. It's very conversational, and it deals with issues that I find very relatable.
And did it make you want to do more of that?
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely intend on it.
Jennifer Fox, a question from her. From the outtakes, you can see of the Avengers and Captain America that you all seem to have a great time goofing around. How hard is it always to play the Boy Scout image and constantly be the even-tempered voice of reason?
Yeah, there are certainly days where you wish you had more jokes to say on set and on camera, I should say. But that's part of the gig. You still get to have a lot of laughs off camera.
Chris, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much indeed. Captain America, The Winter Soldier comes out on the 28th, be reviewed on next week's show. Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you.